Back by popular demand. Grandma in the kitchen. Hey, first and foremost, happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
Okay, so we've got orange cake mix, and then we have Jello.
No, vanilla pudding mix, instant.
Okay. And then what else do we have?
We have sugar, orange juice, oil, and vodka and Grand Marnier.
Okay. We'll go through all the...
And eggs.
And eggs. How many eggs?
3.
And we'll go through the amounts, and I'll put them on the screen as we make them. Whose favorite cake is this?
My granddaughter Wamenta always asks for it when she's coming, and it's favorite
What am I,
cake.
chopped liver over here?
And it's your
We go right to the grandkid.
It's your favorite cake also.
Okay. And so I often ask you to make it, right?
Yes, you do.
Now, how many years you been making this cake?
Probably 45 years.
Okay. And you got the recipe, is it out of a cookbook or?
No, one of the servers that worked for us at the restaurant named Dee gave me this recipe.
I should say that you owned a restaurant, a seafood restaurant, for
30 years.
30 years? I thought it was more than that. Okay, it was from the 70s, right?
Yeah.
All right. So where do we start?
Well, we're going to start by greasing and flouring a tube pan or a bundt pan, and I'm using a bundt pan. And you need to grease it really, really good. Or you could use, they say you can use a vegetable spray, but it has to be one that's for baking. It has to be one with the flour already in it, and I don't have that.
So you're using butter.
I'm using softened butter.
And so that's just to try to keep the cake from sticking to the bundt pan.
Yes, that's to try to keep it from sticking. Flour it. And tap it. And we hope it doesn't stick.
Okay. So what's next?
The next thing to do is I'm going to put the orange cake mix.
And this happens to be Duncan Hines, but I'm assuming there's probably other brands.
There is sometimes Betty Crocker, but either one are hard to find sometimes. And this is a package of vanilla instant pudding.
Vanilla pudding, right?
Vanilla.
Do they come in different sizes, or are they pretty much?
No, well, they come in larger size too. This is smallest size.
So this one is 3.4 ounces.
Yeah, they may have reduced those too. And I'm putting in a 1/3 cup of sugar instead of a half because I'm trying to change my recipe a little bit.
So a 1/3 cup of
granulated sugar. Now I'm going to put in a 1/3 cup of vegetable oil.
I almost knocked the flute glass over, Mom. It was so close. It
And
rocked.
I'm putting in 3/4 cups of orange juice.
Does it matter whether or not it is pulp or pulp free? Or?
Either one, it doesn't matter. Now I'm going to put in 1/4 cup of Grand Marnier.
And so what's after the Grand Marnier?
This is a 1/4 cup, which is a little less because of the rest of the cake mix size, of a vodka. And now I'm going to put 3 eggs. And I already have 2 here. So I'm going to put 1 more egg.
So 3 eggs.
3 eggs. And now we're going to mix it up till it's mixed up really good.
And so you just need everything to mix up really well?
Well, you need it mixed up really good. They say usually when you're making anything from a cake mix, they usually tell you to be with 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
2 minutes. I'm going to turn it off and raise it up and
with a spatula to it?
Yeah, and scrape down the sides so it's mixed up all the way.
So, Mom, what other videos have you done for the channel?
The Christmas cookies and the chocolate meringue pie.
Yeah.
When you're ready to film, let me know.
I'm filming. See that little red light?
Okay. Okay.
So is it mixed 2 minutes?
I think it's probably mixed at least 2 minutes. It looks very creamy, so I'm going to turn it off. And we're putting this in a 350 degree oven. Okay, we're taking it off and putting it in a well greased and floured bundt pan. Going in the oven at 350 degrees for approximately between 40 and maybe 50 minutes.
So it
40 minutes.
cooks for 40 minutes, and then when it comes out, what's the process?
We're going to cool it for 15 minutes and then put it on a wire rack and let it cool some more. And when it's almost cool, we'll glaze it.
And then how do we glaze it?
Okay. This is my glaze. I'm going to go ahead and we'll start mixing that up. This is a cup of powdered sugar. This is 1.5 tablespoons of orange juice. 1.5 tablespoons of vodka. And 1.5 tablespoons of Grand Marnier. And you just mix this up and keep working with it till it becomes smooth, and you'll glaze the cake with it when the cake is almost cool.
So there was vodka and Grand Marnier in the batter,
Yes.
right? And we used Grand Marnier and vodka in the glaze as well?
That's right. But it's really all right for children as far as the cake part, and probably the glaze after it has a chance to set, because the alcohol will burn out of the cake
When you cook
bake
it, yeah. So, I mean, you'll get some of the alcohol taste, but most of it gets cooked
And
out.
see, you mix that up till it's nice and smooth, and then you just put it over your cake.
Now, the cake's not going to be ready for about 40 minutes or
40
so, right?
to 50 minutes, yeah.
Now, after you made that glaze, do you need to put that in the refrigerator?
No, I'll just leave that sitting right here. And if it happens to get too thick or whatever, we could just add a little bit more Grand Marnier, a little bit of anything. But I would do either some more of Grand Marnier or orange juice.
Okay, so in the meantime, we can drink some more mimosas?
And the meantime, by the time we glaze this cake, this probably will be drunk grandma.
Okay, fair enough. Sounds good. All right, Mom, how long has it been?
It's been 41 minutes.
What have we been doing?
We've been drinking mimosas and talking.
Okay, we made good use of our time.
Yes, we did. So I'm taking it out.
And so you want it brown like that,
Want
right?
it nice and brown. And you take a picture of it. And now we're going to let it cool for about 15 minutes before we try to turn it out. I should have done this before I took it out, but it looked real nice and brown. You just put it in the middle, take it out, and make sure that there's not any moist cake clinging to it.
So if it looks pretty clean,
It looks pretty clean.
then it should be
cake
cooked all the way
be
through.
done. And you do it kind of in the middle of the cake to make sure.
Now, how long do we let this cool?
About 15 minutes, and you can take a little rubber spatula and kind of move it around the edges to loosen them some before you turn it out.
Because you're going to turn it upside down, and it's supposed to go right here, hopefully,
Yes.
without any problem.
Yeah.
So are you going to do that with a spatula to facilitate it coming out?
Yeah, to loosen it up. I'm going to let it cool a while before then. And then when I do turn it up here and it cools almost completely, then we'll glaze it.
Because if it wasn't cool completely and you put the glaze on
It
there,
would
the
just
glaze
run
would
off.
just run right off,
It
right?
just run right off,
Okay.
yes.
All right. Okay. So we'll let it sit 15 minutes?
Uh-huh.
Great. Okay, it's the moment of truth. So what are you worried about? That it might like kind of fall apart?
I'm afraid it might stick in the bottom, but
Okay.
I'm going to loosen the sides, but I can't do anything about the bottom. So I'm going around with a small rubber spatula to loosen the sides.
But you put the butter on there, right?
Oh, I put butter and flour.
And those things are supposed to keep it from sticking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Well, what's the worst could happen?
The worst that can happen is it's just going to fall apart. Oh
Look
my
at that.
goodness!
Look at that.
Oh, that is great!
It's always so fun to see you when whatever it is turns out well. You're always so happy, like a schoolgirl.
Yes.
Okay. So smells good.
Oh yeah.
Smells really good. Is it still a little warm, Mom?
It's
or?
a little. It's cool enough that I'm going to try to do this around it.
Now, Mom, we let it sit a little longer than 15 minutes, right?
Yeah, we did. What time is it?
I don't know. I can't see that far.
We let it sit 30 minutes.
Okay. And we did that just to make sure it was totally cool, right?
Yeah.
And so you're just spooning this on,
Yeah.
and this glaze is, remind us what's in the glaze.
It's a cup of powdered sugar and a 1.5 tablespoons each of orange juice and vodka and Grand Marnier.
And the glaze just really, it tastes good. I mean, I still remember when I was a kid eating this, and I just liked that glaze that was on there. Maybe I was just an early drinker.
Alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, it's just a glaze, so you can just let it run around on it. And sometimes it runs down on the sides, and I scoop it back up and try to put it, it runs down on the bottom, and I scoop it back up and try to put it back up on the cake like this.
You got a little bit of glaze still left in the...
Yeah, I'm gonna get
Measuring
these
cup.
up. I'm gonna get this up first. I'm just so happy it didn't stick,
I know you're happy.
because the last two I did, one in the other pan and one in this new pan, they both stuck. Makes you feel like, almost like it's Christmas.
Like a professional.
Yeah, makes you feel good. And then some runs down in here, and you can always just kind of, when you
In the
cut-
center, you mean?
In the center, and when you cut the cake, you can always just scoop some of that up on the slice when you cut it.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see it on the video, but there's some of the glaze is down in the center.
Yeah, it's just a little bit left here.
So you know we're going to have to try this.
Oh yeah.
Everybody expects us to do that, you know. Well, I don't know if the camera does it justice, because I'm looking at the camera and it just seems kind of dark looking, but it's, you know, the glaze is really light colored up against the brown. It looks really good.
Well, it just made my day that it came out of the pan.
Well, I could tell, Mom. It reminds me of when you made the chocolate pie video and you took it out of the oven with the meringue looking good and you were all happy.
Yeah. Well, there it is.
It's all done.
Harvey Wallbanger cake.
And so it's all done but the eating, right?
But the eating.
So let's
Yep.
cut us a slice. All right, Mom.
Yes.
Let's cut them.
Let's cut it. Okay. We're not going to cut very big pieces because we have friends coming over.
We haven't had dinner.
Snacking all evening.
We haven't had dinner
So
yet.
we're just going to cut very small pieces.
Just to get the taste. You know, I've been drinking mimosas, so I don't want to drink milk now. But normally I would want a glass of milk with this.
Beautiful.
All right,
Okay.
Mom, you ready?
Yes.
Let's try it.
Let's try it. Very good.
Is it good?
Very good.
So this one came out less dense with the modification. So
It did.
the ingredients that you described and what I'll put on the screen will be the adjusted recipe. Okay, from your 45-year-old recipe.
That's right.
Okay, and not from a Betty Crocker book, but just from a friend, the recipe.
From a friend that gave it to me.
That's awesome. Okay. You know what, Mom, can I hand you the camera? You think you can do this? And I will take a bite of this.
I will try.
Okay. This is the way I remember it. Really good. Just the way I remember it.
Good. He remembers this from a child.
I know, a child eating icing with vodka in it.
And Grand Marnier.
But it's really good. It's really moist. All right, Mom. Thank you. Happy Mother's Day. Thank you for making another cooking video. Backed by popular demand. I hope you try this. It's not that difficult, right, Mom?
No, it's not. It's not.
That sounded a little stilted, a little scripted.
It really isn't. And, you know, I'm 83 years old. I used to do things easier than I do now.
But you can still make this cake, and it's really good.
Yes, I can still make this cake.
So I hope you give it a try. And check out my mom's other videos. One is Christmas cookies, and the other is chocolate meringue pie. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe, and please like this video, and we'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.